Hey, this is Randy from Funeral Funds of America. In this video, I'm going to show you the actual pricing for $10,000 worth of burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral funds for a 53-year-old male. Now, the first thing I suggest is just go to our website. We've got these free quotes on just about every page, and all you do is select the state that you live in. We are licensed in all 50 states, by the way, and the coverage amount, put your birthday in there, the other info, click Get Quotes Now, and it will take you to a page that's going to show you all the best insurance companies with all the lowest rates. And what that will allow you to do is to price shop around and avoid those policies that you see advertised on TV or magazines that always offer a really super low rate. But with that low rate comes almost no coverage. It will also allow you to shop around for those plans that have 2-year waiting periods, so you can avoid those. And we're typically seeing some of those companies being 200% higher than first day coverage or benefits, which we'll talk about in a moment. But the first thing you should probably ask yourself as a 53-year-old male is $10,000 going to be adequate for your final expense needs? That would typically be either cremation or burial. So the average cost of a cremation right now in the United States is between $1,000 to $2,000. And what we would typically recommend coverage-wise is maybe $5,000 to $7,000, $5,000 to $7,000. And you might go, well, what's the big gap there? How come it's so much more? Well, you're 53 years old. We're hoping you live to 63, 73, 83. And we want to build a little extra coverage in there because we don't know when you're going to die. You could die in 20 minutes or 20 years. So when we build a little extra coverage in there, it inflation proofs your plan so you don't have to worry about this later in life. The other thing it does is, God forbid something happens and you die sooner than you ever thought. There's a little bit extra money to maybe take care of some final expenses or medical bills or something like that so your family or loved ones don't have to pay for that. Now, if you're going to be cremated and have a ceremony like a celebration of life or remembrance ceremony, something like that, then that cost is probably going to be about $3,500 to $4,500. If that's the case, we would typically recommend somewhere maybe $7,000 to $10,000 for all the reasons I just mentioned before. Now, one thing we don't recommend is like overinsuring. A lot of times people will call up and say, hey, I'd like to get $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 and leave some money behind for my kids. Well, most of the time, the people that we're helping are on fixed or limited incomes. So they can afford the smaller amount to take care of the final expenses, but sometimes they can't afford the larger amounts. And it's just always tragic when they say, well, if I can't do $50,000, I'm not going to do anything at all. And then they are just guaranteeing that their children or loved ones are going to get socked with this bill at some point, rather than getting the insurance to take care of it. And then if they wanted more coverage, they could always add that later. We help people with that all the time. So if you're looking at a burial, the average cost of a burial is right around $10,000. So if you walk into a funeral home with a $10,000 check, they should be able to manage that in most parts of the country. It's hard to imagine that they would say, no, we can't do that, and then just let you walk out the door and walk two blocks down to their competitor where they would take your money. But just understand that if they do make it work, $10,000 it's not going to be fancy. It's going to be a very minimal funeral. So a lot of times we would recommend getting more coverage, especially at age 53, because we want you to make it to 63, 73, 83, and so on. So most of the time we're helping people, that are 53. These guys are probably looking at $10, $15, maybe even $20,000 just to inflation-proof that plan for a long time. But also you're 53 years old. You get to lock in that lower rate because you are so young. So there's an advantage to doing that as well. Now, one thing we always recommend is first day coverage or benefits. We do not recommend the 2-year waiting period policies, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But what first day coverage means is that hypothetically, if your plan were approved and issued today and you died tomorrow, the insurance company would have to write a check for that $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000, whatever it was. That's the best coverage you can get. It's also going to have the lowest pricing. Now, a lot of times people will say, I do like the first day coverage, but I've got some health issues and I'm not sure I'll qualify, to which we say, hey, that's our problem, not yours, at least from a insurance standpoint. And that's why we work with so many different insurance companies, because they all ask different health questions and they all have different underwriting. And really about 95% of the time, we're able to get people first day coverage or benefits. The only reason we wouldn't be able to is if you had some really significant health issues going on, like maybe you had a terminal illness and you're going to pass away in the next 12 months, or you had dementia, or you're on dialysis, or in a hospital, or in a nursing home. If it were something like that, we'd probably refer you out to a different company. And then one thing that seems to happen every week is we get somebody that will call us up and say, hey, we had a family member pass away this last week, and they didn't have insurance, and we don't have any money. The body's down at the funeral home. The funeral home director's not going to do anything about this till he gets a check in his hand. So we need to get this insurance right away so we can get paid, and then we can pay the funeral home director. We have to let them know that there's no insurance company in the United States that's going to issue a policy on somebody who's already dead. You have to be alive to actually qualify for these plans. And it's really sad when that happens, because the person who passed away, they knew they were going to die someday. They just didn't think it would be so soon. They were probably going to get this insurance at some point in the future, and they delayed it. And then, they done went and died, and, there went their plan right out the window. But it's a horrible legacy to leave behind, because what ends up happening in most cases is the family members or loved ones have to put this on credit cards, and they're paying 26% interest, and they're paying on this for years and years and years and years. And now every time your name comes up, there's always going to be that conversation. How about they had to pay for your funeral, or they're still paying for it. And it's just a terrible legacy to leave behind. So just be responsible, get this insurance. We can help you get the best deal. If you need to start small and add more coverage later, boy, we can certainly help you out with that too. Now, one thing we don't recommend, as I mentioned, is the 2-year waiting period plans. Now, Colonial Penn is probably one of the, they're recognized anyway. I guess that'd be a good way of putting it. And I think they're fairly well recognized because they advertise all the time on TV for their $9.95 commercial. And, I think they're on TV every 7 minutes, it seems like, something like that. But yeah, so that $9.95 plan is a 2-year waiting period plan. Most people don't know that. So it's not an ideal plan. But Colonial Penn isn't the only one with 2-year waiting periods. Mutual of Omaha, their United of Omaha line, AIG, Gerber. Gosh, there's just a host of other companies out there that have mandatory 2-year waiting periods. And some of these companies have done a pretty amazing job of convincing the American public that the only thing you qualify for if you're over age 50 is a 2-year waiting period, to which we always say, I do not fall for such nonsense, because we help people with first day coverage all day long. Now, our 53-year-old male is probably watching that Colonial Penn $9.95 commercial and is probably thinking, at age 53, I'm gonna get a lot of coverage for $9.95. I'm gonna get probably, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. You know what? At age 53, I bet I can get $50,000 worth of insurance. And then they call Colonial Penn and talk with an agent, or they go on their website and, like what we've done for you here, and find out that a male age 53 for 1 unit of coverage, $9.95, right here, $9.95, it's only going to pay out $1,515. So that is, that's probably enough for a cremation in many parts of the country right now. But you got to keep in mind, this plan is not going to pay out for 2 years because it's got a 2-year waiting period. So yeah, it's just not ideal at all. And, a lot of people would probably say, or some people certainly say that, these companies, they offer these really low rates called teaser rates, just to tease you, to get you into calling. And then they know full well that it's inadequate coverage, and they will then try to upsell you to get you into a more expensive product and make more money. We are certainly not saying that's the case with Colonial Penn, but maybe you can give that some thought and see if you think that's the case. But we want to get like $10,000 worth of coverage here. So the thing is, Colonial Penn, you can't get $10,000 for a 53-year-old male, because they sell per unit, and you end up with these wackadoodle numbers like $1,515. So let's take a look. Is that 5? No, not 5. You got to play around with these numbers. 7 units. There we go. That's probably as close as we're going to get, is 7 units for $10,605. And that's roughly $70. So that kind of seems expensive to me, but we specialize in first day coverage. So let's go see what first day coverage would be. 10,000 male, age 53, right here. We're going to click get quote, and we're going to go back here again. $70 for roughly 10,000. And here we go. You can get 10,000 for $30. So, oh my gosh, like Colonial Penn is like over 200% more expensive in this case, right about there anyway. So why would you ever buy a policy that's like over 200% more expensive? And, gosh, they're certainly right around 200%. But why would you do that? And then they're also going to get you stuck with the 2-year waiting period that's not going to pay in the first 2 years if you die of any health or medical reason. So I don't know. Why would you do that? This is level coverage, first day coverage, and you can get $10,000 for $30. So yeah, be a smart consumer. And if you're not sure how to be a smart consumer, let us help you be a smart consumer. Let's look at some other companies here though. Let's keep it. And you'll be able to see all these different companies. Like here's one, Lumico. I mean, that's level coverage, first day coverage, but look at that. They're $10 more a month. So it's $120 a year. After 10 years, you're going to overpay $1,200. Wouldn't you rather just keep $1,200 in your own pocket rather than give that to an insurance company? They're virtually identical products. I mean, they're both whole life policies. Why would you overspend? Makes no sense. Let's look out a little further here. Okay, so we've got, looks like Lincoln Heritage. They're a fine company, I guess, but look at that pricing. Yikes. So it is first day coverage. That's good though. But yeah, that pricing is so much higher. And the reason is Lincoln Heritage has a deal where when you pass away, they will supposedly call 2 or 3 different funeral homes to get the lowest pricing, maybe do a couple other things, but they charge a premium for that. It's not free. That's an extra cost. They're not going to just soak that up. They're going to add that on, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. So it's basically 46, yeah, about $16 more a month than this $30 here. That's roughly around $192 a year more. And if you live 10 years, if our 53-year male lives to age 63, he will have overpaid right around $1,920, just roundabout. So just almost $2,000 overpaid. And a lot of people would say that's a pretty good payday for the insurance company to make $2,000, where all they'll have to do is call 2 or 3 funeral homes, maybe do a couple other things that may only take an hour or so on their end to do. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good payday. I'd like to make that kind of money, but we would really recommend you just keep that money in your own pocket. And how we help you do that is we provide a free funeral and estate planning guide. And you can download that off our website and print it out. And then you just fill it out, who gets what goes where, and what you want to happen after you're gone. It's completely free. You can change it at any point. But once you're done with that, keep it with your insurance policy. And that way, when you pass away, your family and loved ones will not only be protected financially with the insurance policy, but emotionally with your funeral and estate planning guide, where you've laid out everything for them to do. And all they will have to do is execute your wishes and take care of everything, knowing that's exactly how you wanted it done. And boy, that provides so much peace of mind. They're not worried about doing anything that you didn't want to be done. And you've also made sure that everything's paid for with the insurance policy. What a wonderful legacy to leave behind, that your friends and family and loved ones, they knew that, not only did you protect them in life, but you actually protected them in death. And protecting them in death means that one time they would need you the most, even though you weren't here. So what a wonderful legacy of love to leave behind. So go to our website. We've got a special quote for our YouTube viewers, funeralfunds.com/YouTube. And you can get the lowest price and the most discounts there. And you can call our toll-free number, 888-862-9456. And if you are looking for a brand new policy or just want information on a policy, we can help you out with that. If you have an existing policy and you want to price shop it to make sure you got the best deal, or just simply add coverage to your existing policy, we can help you out with that too. But we look forward to getting you the most amount of coverage for the least amount of money. And we're just really excited that at some point in the future we'll be able to help you out with this and talk with you and figure out a plan to get this taken care of once and for all. Until that day comes, you stay safe, you take care, you have a nice day. Bye-bye.